Hey guys, Greg here. Let's solve longest common subsequence, Leetcode number 1143. So we're given two strings, which are called text1 and text2, and we need to return the length of their longest common subsequence. And if there is no common subsequence, we can just return 0. So we don't need to read all of this. I will explain it. So if we were given A, B, C, D, E, and A, C, E, then their longest common subsequence is going to be ACE itself, which happens to just be text2. So text1 has this subsequence of A and then C and then E. And so text2 also has that subsequence because you literally just take the whole string, and that happens to be their longest common subsequence, and so the length of that would be 3. They share other common subsequences as well, like A and E is a subsequence, but again, the length of their longest common subsequence would be 3. So the idea is to place an index on each of the strings. So you can think of this as I and this one as J, although I'll just draw them as lines. And we want to check, hey, are these characters equal to each other? No, they are not equal to each other. Okay, then the optimal solution lies in one of two possible scenarios. We either move forward the first index, meaning that we're basically considering all of this stuff and the whole string, so we don't move over that second index, or it could be better to move over just this index and look at the whole string 1 and all of string 2 except that first position there. So we'd want to look at both of those scenarios and see which one is better. But just to visualize one of them, let's say that we moved over this first index. And so now we'd want to say, are they equal again? Well, yes, they are equal. Basically, we're going to draw a line between these two, saying we're definitely going to match up these with each other. We're looking for common subsequences, so the letters are going to have to match. So since they match here, well, we actually are using up both of these characters. We can't use either of them again. And so if they're both used up, we're going to just move over both of the indices, basically saying now the optimal solution is definitely to look at the rest of both of the strings, not including that index we just used. So that's the idea, and really the only base cases are if your index goes out of bounds, then the longest common subsequence between them is 0, because if you have an empty string, then that's not going to have any length. So that's mainly the intuition, and now I'll talk about the code. Okay, so this is going to be our top-down dynamic programming solution, and I will add in memoization. I'm actually going to do it by just using a cache, which is a little bit of a cheat. I've shown many videos where I actually create the dictionary, check Fibonacci number or climbing stairs or any of the other ones to kind of avoid using the cache. And the time complexity is going to be big O of m times n. Basically, at every single step, we were moving over at least one of the two indices, and you have to explore multiple paths, so that's actually going to be m times n. And the space complexity of the recursive call stack on what we're going to write could also be the same depth, so m times n there. I know that might be a little bit unclear, but let me explain in the code. So we'll define our helper function, which I'll call longest, between two indices I and j. So what we'd really want to know here is the longest on the first indices. Now, as we said here, the base cases are pretty simple. If I is out of bounds, aka it's m, or if j is out of bounds, aka it is n, well, then we can just return 0, because that's basically saying one of the two strings is now empty at this point, and an empty string can't contribute to the subsequence. Okay, otherwise, we want to know if they are pointing to equal characters. So if text1 at I is equal to text2 at j, then in that case, since they are equal, we know we kind of get 1 from that because we are using a character. We're kind of drawing that line between them to match it up. Plus, the longest is definitely going to be on just the remainder of both of the strings. So on I plus 1 and j plus 1. You can't use that one again, so we have to look in the remainder of both of them. Okay, and then otherwise, we need to return the maximum of both situations, where the first situation is the longest on keeping I the same and moving j to be j plus 1, or it is the symmetrical effect, longest on I plus 1 and j. Now, as is, this is not going to be m times n. You would have to actually cache function calls. So to this, we'll add a cache. This is exactly the same thing as basically adding a memo and checking if it's in the memo. And that is what's going to bring the time complexity down to O of m times n, because now if we've ever seen a I and j on a function call before and went and computed that, that's actually just going to remember that result from before. And sorry, I just forgot to get m and n is equal to the length of text1 and the length of text2. If we are to run that, then that is going to work and it will pass our test cases. But for these types of problems, it's a lot faster to avoid using recursion. So now let's talk about the bottom up. Okay, I honestly think that filling out this table without the code would be a complete disaster. Normally, you generally want to come up with the intuition first, but this is very complicated. So basically, we're filling out this table over here where we're going to have the number of rows is basically that first string plus 1. We have each of those characters there. And then we have the number of columns is going to be the second string. And for each of them, we leave a blank at the end. Now, we initialize them all to be zeros here. And all of these lines here, these are actually going to be zeros in the code. But really, the reason why I have these as zeros is because look at the for loop positions here. We're going to be filling it out in a pretty standard zigzag pattern like this, except we're actually kind of not even dealing with these positions at all. Okay, let's try and fill out this position right here. So if the first string at I-1 is the second string at J-1, well, that is basically saying that, okay, if we're in this position, then I-1 is this row. So we're basically referring to this character, and J-1 is this column. So we're basically considering these two. Well, that makes sense, right? Just like we were in the recursion, we were kind of checking if these two things are equal. So since they are not equal to each other, your intuition should probably say this should be set to a 0, meaning that we probably don't want to draw this line here. You can't, it doesn't work. And that is what the code would do. So we'll set the current position to be the maximum of 1 above and 1 to the left. While it might be hard to feel, you can hopefully kind of feel that recurrence relationship from before, which is like which path would we prefer. Now we're filling out this next position here. And so we would go 1 index up, that's still this G here, and 1 to the left. And so that's basically referring to this character. So this is the way of looking at it, we're looking at this G compared to this G over here. Okay, they match. Your intuition should probably tell you that this should be set to a 1. And let's make sure that the code does that. So if they are equal to each other, okay, great. The current position is 1 to the top left plus 1. So that's basically saying what we could get before plus using our current character. So that plus 1 is that line being drawn there. We are using it, and we could get whatever we could get before. Basically saying 1 back on both of the strings. Okay, so this next position here is going to look at these set of characters. So that's basically saying we're comparing this G to this A. Now your intuition might be incorrect here. You might want to feel like you want to set this to be 0, except wait a second. If we're in this situation here, well, wouldn't it be better to have already drawn that line like we did before? So it's basically saying like this, like, do we want to do this? Well, of course not. You actually can't do that. So the best that we get here, this should be set to a 1. We can see in the code, the characters do not match, and so we want the current position to be the max of 1 above and 1 to the left. And so that's going to be what we did before, which is a 1. Okay, so this would be our DP array. As you could probably guess, we would want the value in the bottom right, representing the longest common subsequence between the whole of the two strings. And the result is 4, so we can see G, A, R, and S, G, A, R, and S. So that is definitely correct. And I'm just going to take that code and show you the complexity in Leetcode. Okay, so this would be our solution here. Just to walk through it again, M and N are the length of the two strings. We would build up our DP array is going to be M plus 1 rows and N plus 1 columns. And we're going to fill out kind of most of that grid there, except the first row and the first column. And if the characters are equal to each other, then you would want to say that we can get 1 for kind of connecting those up there. And then you need to move kind of both of those indices forward. And so you'd have to go 1 to the top left. Otherwise, you would want the maximum of 1 above you and 1 to the left of you. Again, that recurrence pattern saying, let's try kind of moving over each of the indices and see which one works better. The time is going to be big O of M times N because we're doing an explicit loop over M times N. And we're also filling out that same grid here. The space will also be big O of M times N. And I will call this our bottom up DP or tabulation approach. So this will work, and it's going to be one of the best solutions. It actually turns out there's a way to optimize the space a little bit. You can't bring it down to constant, but you can actually improve on it a little bit. Not really worth discussing. Coming up with this solution is easily difficult enough. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Drop a like if it was, and have a great day. Bye-bye.